fire them up. That's what we do at the Andrew Gosser Show. We fire them up right here on 1039 WYAB, where we are streaming on Rumble, where we are streaming on X. We're streaming on YouTube. Nobody still cares about Facebook. And we're streaming at WYAB.com, where if you can't pick up the 50,000 watt blowtorch of a signal, like, share, and subscribe to our stream. Help us build a station. Help us grow the channel. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell a Democrat. That'd be the great thing to do. Follow me on X, at Andrew Gosser, AndrewGasser. You know, I always put my sources there so that way you can trust what I'm saying, but you can verify it too. Look, if you want to be part of the show today, 601-879-0002. Text line is open, 601-879-5060. And the mission here at the Andrew Gosser Show, it is standard. We are here to equip the saints, ladies and gentlemen. Who are the saints? You all are the saints. And you will hear of wars and of rumors of wars. See that you are not alarmed, for this must take place, but the end is not yet. It's always awesome when I have Brother Rick in the studio. Brother Rick, how you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm glad to be here.
Dude, I am too, because I feel we always get together and have a good conversation about what's going on. And, you know, we have very different views on Iran and the war. And I had a epiphany. There's a guy out there. His name is Ward Carroll. He's a Navy lieutenant, or not lieutenant colonel, but a commander. Excuse me, get my services messed up sometimes. But he was my safety officer in Fighter Squadron 102 when out at Oceana F-14Bs at the time. I think it was. We weren't at the B upgrade yet. And he came out and he was talking about how we are not fighting to win the war. It's a forever war. And I see you shaking your head there. And we see what's happening on with Iran. I want to get your opinion on what you think is going on with Iran, because I have a very specific opinion on it, but I think it's going to be different than yours.
I don't think we should be there.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to get our toys and come home. I think we've got domestic problems that we need to take care of.
Mm-hmm.
There was no problem February 27th. We started the problem February 28th. They have no capabilities of attacking us. They do have abilities of attacking Europe and Israel, but they haven't done so in the past. They maybe you could tie some smaller groups into they've done this and they've done that, but we've done enough self-harm that, I mean, I could make the argument we need to invade ourselves more than we need to invade over there.
I definitely think that you always need to make sure your own house is clean before you start trying to clean out somebody else's house. I also think that modern warfare, we've forgotten ourselves. And we are trying to fight this war like we were fighting Imperial Japan or Nazi Germany or Soviet Russia or Communist Chinese, where they all had one common thread: mad, mutually assured destruction. These crazy jerks over there, these crazy Islamists, they have no concept of mad. And I think that's why we're seeing what we're getting at. And to back this up, like I was saying, Commander Ward Carroll, and I respect the heck out of him. He's a fellow Diamondback, but he is sitting there. These our generals, most of them, not like Dan Raising Kane and a few generals, but I think we've got this pacifist rot going through our general officer corps, our admiral corps, our flag officer corps. I think our mid-level field grade officers, we've got a rot of not wanting to fight war the way we're supposed to. I mean, the most effective bombing run in World War II in Europe was Dresden. If we did a Dresden type attack today, oh my God, you have the International Crime Court.
They won't do anything.
Sure they would.
No, they won't. Look what happened to Gaza. They haven't done a thing about Gaza. They are actively taking bulldozers and excavators and pushing all the rubble out into the ocean right now to cover up wars crimes. So the ICC is not going to do anything.
Oh, I think that if they could figure out a way to get the United States out on the hook for it, they would. And you know, if I mean, this is just me, the warfighter, company grade officer, tip of the spear, going out there, flying the missions, pushing the pickle button, keying the mic, doing the things we got to do. And if we, and this is coming, I've talked to a lot of GWAT officers, Global War on Terror. If we're going to go out and fight, just let us go out and fight and win. And we've got these restrictions and handcuffs, and we can only go do this and we can only go do that. And we are fighting this war so ineffectively.
Well, the part of
It's horrible.
the problem is all of our our manufacturing. They are so socially diverse, and they've got all this um, liberal ties to it, where you got to have, so many of this race and so
Yep.
many of this sexuality.
Look
And
at
so,
Boeing.
yeah, they can't produce the ammunition, the missiles, that we need to sustain a war. So you're messed up either way. One, if say I agree with you, and I just said, go in there and just flatten the whole place, we don't have the stuff to do it. Two,
Oh, we do.
oh,
But we won't use it.
but that's the ladder of escalation.
Well, there is no escalation after that. You go, and look, this is going to be very controversial to some people, but I'm just going to say, if you fight a war, like if you're in a fight outside a bar, you're not sitting there going to say, "Oh, I'm not going to kick the guy in the nuts because I want to punch him in the face." You're going to do whatever it takes to win, and we are not taking out lines of communications. We are not going ahead and hitting any of their targeted infrastructure
Because we can't. It's under a mountain.
No, I'm talking the roads, the train lines of communication.
Oh no,
the
we're taking
communication-
out their bridges and stuff, and they're building them back.
We just, dude, they can't build those bridges that we're taking out. That was a last line of defense for Trump, and I've watched the ex lawyers on X say it's a war crime to take out a road, it's a war crime to take out a train or a bridge. No, it's not. If it's dual use, then you can do it.
Oh, so a desalination plant is dual use?
It can be. Yes, actually, it is.
Okay, I can agree with that. But here's the
And
thing.
so are the power plants.
But do you know what Iran said they were going to do if we hit their stuff? They were going to take out every oil refinery in the UAE, Saudi Arabia, all around that place, all around it. That's going to devastate the world, not just us. That's the world, because everybody uses fuel.
They don't have the capability to do it now. Now they do have the proxies, the Hezbollahs, the Hamas, the Al-Aqsa brigades, the Houthis. Who am I forgetting? I'm forgetting one of them.
I know they just sank a tanker yesterday or the day before.
Yep.
And what is it? I can't ever say it.
Baba Mandrell.
Yep.
Or just call it the Barbara Mandrell. Every U.S. sailor, every sailor around the world will know when you say Barbara Mandrell, we know what you're talking about.
Yep.
And you look at what happened in Spain with the Islamic takeover of Spain. How many people actually knew, Rick, that Spain had territory in the Horn of, or not the Horn of Africa? I keep on calling it the Horn of Africa, but in northern Africa.
Well, it's no different than us having Hawaii.
Is it? Well, no, Hawaii is an island.
I understand, but what I'm saying is it's a landmass.
It's like there's a city in the United States that is, you have to drive through Canada to get to it unless you fly to it. I just saw a special on it. It's in up in Washington, I believe. But that's my point. It's like, what, it makes no sense to have it there, but it's a territory that's held on, and Israel was part of that. But don't think for a minute that Iran look, I'm not saying Saudi Arabia is a bad country. I'm not saying necessarily Oman or UAE. I'm not saying they're friendly countries, but I'm not saying they're doing what Iran's doing. And everywhere where they can plant dissent. Did you hear what the leader of Lebanon said the other day? When they kicked out Hamas, they said Lebanon's a peaceful country. We love the United States. It's Hamas and Iran who ruined our country. And so that's why I feel the fight needs to go there. And, devastating, overwhelming force. We know beyond a shadow of a doubt where these people are, and we could go out and get them. But do we have the will to do it? And I don't think we do. And that's why I think your view is so important to hear, because if you're not going to have the will to use what you have, if this whole world is around the MAD concept, the mutually assured destruction. It's how the Soviets viewed America. It's how the Chinese viewed America. It's how America viewed the world. And we knew that we were going to do, but we're not fighting a economic system like communism or capitalism or socialism. We are fighting a theocratic religious insanity movement.
Ideology.
And it's a different fight. And it bothers me because I don't know how to communicate it to people in a convincing way that says, look, this is not like going into Europe to fight Nazi Germany. it's a disease, and it's taken over America too, man.
Yeah, but it's taking over America by design. But let me back up a little bit.
Sure.
Here's why I'm so against it. I have 3 kids
Mm-hmm.
under 14.
Yep.
I don't know if you're aware of this, but they're quietly, but with force, trying to reinstate the draft. And they're not just drafting our boys. They want the girls
Yep.
and the boys. And I'm just telling you right now, the way I see this fight going on,
Mm-hmm.
we're not fighting for the red, white, and blue. We're not fighting for our freedom. We're not fighting for so-called democracy. We're not fighting for any of that. We're fighting for a small group of people that are trying to take over our country in alternative manners. I'm not sending my kids to fight and die for a blue and white flag. I'm not.
Nope. I'm not fighting for Islamic takeover either. I would rather fight here in America to get rid of the invaders, because we haven't been invaded, just like Spain's been invaded. Dude, it's bad, man. It's really
real bad.
And
millions and millions of people.
And I'm at the point to where, look, I am as patriotic in red, white, and blue as it comes, and I've given the best part of my life to my country, and I'm paying the price for it now. And I was talking to my mom yesterday. I'm okay with that, what I'm going through now. I am so at peace, even though I think I'm vaccine injured, even though I'm fighting Parkinson's and all this other craziness that I'm going through. I don't think it's fair to my wife and my kids, but I wouldn't change any of it. But man, make it worth the sacrifice of our boys and girls who are going over there and giving the ultimate sacrifice. Go there and freaking win. I gotta watch my mouth because now I start to get elevated.
No, I understand what you're saying. And 5 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
I'd have said, you know what? Let's go over there and just flatten the whole place and start over.
Dude, I'm
not there now.
I'm at the point to where I want to take out the power plants. I want to take out the water desalinization. I want to take out the lines of communication and make it to the point to where we shut off. I mean, I got to be careful how I say this. We have toys that can completely shut down to where they couldn't even use radio signals out of Iran. And I'm saying you could completely isolate that. But
that's fine. But what I'm saying is there are bases all around them that are within range of what they have. Yep. And we don't have any way to protect our troops. And I think it is.
We absolutely do.
Then why are there over 400 deaths?
Because we won't use the technology we have in place. Because
if you're not going to use it, then don't put them there.
Well, that gets back to the whole conversation of, is it mutually assured destruction or is it a ideological war? And until our leaders realize that the ways to fight in China and fight in the Soviet Union and whoever else we want to put in there, it's not going to work. And that's why I'm frustrated. You're frustrated because we're not seeing results. American people are frustrated. We don't have the long-term mentality to fight. We really don't. And dude, I agree with you when you say that, this fight has been going on. It's been a Cold War for decades now, at least 47 years in this iteration of Iran. But you were talking earlier that you said it went back over to 1901, I think. Is that
in 1901 is when the British went over and purchased the oil rights.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, the leadership of Iran was like, hold on, we have uses for this oil too, and y'all are giving us pennies on the dollar. And that's kind of when everybody started having issues. But it goes back it's way bigger of an issue than 47 years ago.
Dude,
and it's a global issue.
I know we're coming up against a hard break here, but before we go to the break, I want to go ahead and hit this this quote from the Senate candidate from Michigan, because this ties all right into it. This is what we're fighting, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to hear this, and I want you to hear it loud and clear.
Don't back down. We don't back down. With all due respect, if they go low, we don't go high. We take them to the mud and choke them out.
Yep. That was Abdul El-Sayed, the Democratic Socialist of America nominee for U.S. Senate in the great state of Michigan. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show. That is Brother Rick. This is 103.9 WYAB, and we will be right back. Oh, yeah. Welcome back to the Andrew Gosser Show on 1039 WYAB. Moving and grooving. We got Brother Rick over there. Dogfish, we saw your comment about the 400. We're looking it up now. He says he's got it. So I trust him on that. And then what is the Barbara Mandrell effect? Uh, that's Brother Junk. I'll talk about that while you're doing your grokking and Googling and all that kind of stuff. There is a strait between Africa and the Saudi Arabian Peninsula, Yemen, and that's where the Houthis are. And it's a choke point. It's the actual name of it is Babab Mendel, I believe, Baba Mendel, something like that. If you go to what's going on with shipping on YouTube, he's got the name of it. He will post it. But my point is, 42% of the world's shipping goes through that strait as it goes through the Suez Canal. You've got to go through there. And when you have Houthis with these Shahab 136 drones, and they can sit there and effectively take out the world's shipping, and people are saying, the world was fine before this all kicked off. At some point, you have to fight the fight. At some point, you got to stand up to the bully. And I think that's part of the reason that President Trump did what he did. And I'm not against that. I'm for it. I hate it when I know what we have out there and we're not using all the toys. Good morning, brother Dogfish. Dogfish saying good morning, brother Rick.
Good morning.
And so that's my whole point right there. And while Rick continues to get that all going, I'm going to play this 12-second clip again.
Don't back down. We don't back down. With all due respect, if they go low, we don't go high. We take them to the mud and choke them out.
Yep, and that's what they do. You got it?
Yeah, it's from the War Horse. It was a Pentagon freedom of information request, and it's over 400 casualties in the first 6 weeks of the conflict.
So it's not death; it's casualties. So those are injuries and deaths, right?
Yep.
So I think that's where the big disconnect is. We had those two KC-135s collide, and we lost a crew of 6 there, and that was really painful. It's an Air Force dude, and we've lost a couple soldiers to missile attacks, and I think we're up to 16 or 17. And I'm not belaying them. Each one of their sacrifices, I mean, we should remember them always. And we were, thank God that we have young men and women who are willing to put their butts on the line to go and do that job. But the injuries and stuff like that can be combat injuries, like for missile attacks, but it can also be, dudes, this happens all the time. Marines back me up on this. There are all sorts of training injuries that we have in Kuwait, Saudi Arabia. Ooh, what was that?
I dropped my phone.
Oh, okay. But where we have injuries, and those get reported as casualties too. So I don't want to,
well, I'm not trying to muddy the water.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is this. Whenever Trump ran,
mm-hmm.
he was no new wars. He is, the day I get elected, the next day the Ukraine war is going to be over.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he ran on. And a lot of these people that signed up, they signed up to serve under Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Trump was promising no new wars, and we are basically in a World War III scenario.
We are in it's not World War III. It's
could be 4, actually.
I think it's 5th generational warfare, and we're trying to fight a 3rd/4th generation war. I think that's where it is, and that's good analysis. That's why we have you on the show, because we can talk this out. 5th generation warfare, cyber warfare, information warfare.
Weren't there just 7 states that had their water infrastructure attacked?
It was Minnesota was the one that they confirmed. There were 30 water districts that were attacked by Iran. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole other thing too. People don't even realize the cyber warfare that's about to go down, and at some point you've got to fight it. And
would you agree that getting these, it's not the data centers, but the AI, having the strongest AI is going to be very important when it comes to cyber warfare?
I know that who does Claude?
I don't.
No, but the Claude AI, which everybody is raving about, they have 10 points to Claude AI that they can't have, and the gist of it is this: you can't offend or you can't offend values that are other than Western, but you can talk trash about Western values in the United States as much as you want, but you can't talk trash about Iran, Saudi Arabia, Islam, Buddhism, Taoism, whatever you want to put in there. But you can trash Jesus, you can trash the Jews, and you can trash everything Western because that's how Western civilization works. You can attack your own, but don't go attacking the beliefs of somebody else because you can't do that. But to answer your point, yeah, we do need a strong AI, but are we getting it? I don't think we necessarily are, brother. And that's just my opinion.
Well, my whole point of asking that question is this:
Mhm.
China produces twice the amount of energy that we do.
They do.
Do you know that in New York, they get a large majority of their electricity from Canada?
Yes, because they shut down the nuclear power plant 30 miles north of New York.
Yeah, the PG&E, which does the 13 states on the Eastern Board, are at their capacity. They cannot add anything else to it.
Nope. And that's why, on this show, we talk about these nuclear reactors. We had 3 of them come online last month, but they can produce these incredibly quick. They're only 250 megawatts, but you can daisy chain them. And I'm just talking about Valor Nucleonics, nuclear. You can Google it. Please verify. His name is Isaiah. His first name is Isaiah. I can't remember his last name. I thank God that I can even remember his first name, Rick. But he's got these things, and you put them in the back of a semi truck, and you can basically dump them off, and you can have regenerative power that way. But we got to start thinking about this 10 years ago, and to get to the point where we're going to get to, probably not in this segment because we're almost up on a break already.
That's crazy.
Go ahead, man.
Short point. Do you remember whenever the ice storm happened a couple of years ago in Texas and they had the rolling blackouts?
Yep.
They came out and said that if they hadn't done the rolling blackouts where you got I think it was 8 minutes of power every hour, and then they rolled over to the next. If they hadn't done that, the system basically would have melted down and they would have been without power for a year.
Yep.
My whole point is
our infrastructure is crap.
It's crap, and it's not. I'm not blaming this on Trump. I'm not blaming it on Biden. This goes back for generations.
Yep.
And we've got to start thinking about it because AI, like it or not, it's here.
Oh, it's coming big.
And it's whoever creates the most powerful AI is going to have the ability to basically rule the world. We don't have the power to compete. China makes twice as much power and half as cheap.
Yep. And not only that, but they're building infrastructure. And now you look at their wiring and how they're delivering their power. It's very, I guess you would say trashy because they got the lines running everywhere and everything. But we have not really invested in American infrastructure the way we have. I'll double down on this, Rick. The Sweet Bee just got back from Japan. She said our airports, I can't use
trash.
That's putting it lightly. Yeah. And the Sweet Bee doesn't use flowery language often, but I mean, the Sweet Bee really brought it down. When you get off the airplane in Tokyo, that they have their, how we get off on the left side through that one door and it takes us forever. In Japan, they have exits on both sides of the airplane and they use them both. And she goes, Andy, the airports are so clean and they're so much more updated and they're so much better than what we have in the United States. And Trump's talked about this. Why are we fighting this war in Iran if we're not fighting to win? Number one, if we're and I would respectfully say this to my senior officers who I still, even though I'm retired, I'm just still a captain, so I got to kind of honor that. But I would say this respectfully, and people, if you know how I got my call sign Sponge, this is a fact. Why are we not fighting to win? And I think it's because we don't have the political will. I think our president would go do it. He understands it. But our Senate, through the 17th Amendment, has been corrupted. The American people, I'm sorry, we're weak. And we don't have the mentality. Dude, if we
have the focus.
We can't sit there and look at our phone. I mean, the average American looks at their phone 10 times a minute. It's crazy.
I'm just saying we're not fighting to win.
Nope.
So come home. If we're not going to just jump in this thing with both feet, then come home. Stop half
Yep,
Yeah.
dude. I appreciate that. You know what? That's a good time to take a break, and I promise we're going to get to the elections from the other day because I think there's a lot of really great points. But we got to take this commercial break. You are listening to Rick and Andrew on the Andrew Gosser Show. This is 103.9 WYAB, and we will be right back.
Don't back down. We don't back down. With all due respect, if they go low, we don't go high. We take them to the mud and choke them out. Don't back down. We don't back down. With all due respect, if they go low, we don't go high. We take them to the mud and choke them out. Don't back down. We don't back down. With all due respect, if they go low, we don't go high. We take them to the mud and choke them out. Don't back down. We don't back down. With all due respect, if they go low, we don't go high. We take them to the mud and choke them out. Don't back down. We don't back down. With all due respect, if they go low, we don't go high. We take them to the mud and choke them out. Don't back down. We don't back down. With all due respect, if they go low, we don't go high. We take them to the mud and choke them out.
And welcome back to the Andrew Gosser Show. I've got this video right here, brother Rick, and we've been talking about Iran, we've been talking about the war, and I'm trying to focus it into the elections. But this lady is from Iran. This is a minute and 43 seconds. I'm going to only try to stop it one time. But listen to what she says. This is a woman from Iran, Western woman now, and just legal citizen, voting rights. Just listen to this.
America, I'm so sorry. I apologize. I take full responsibility. I am partly responsible for what's happening in America, for what's happening in Dearborn, Michigan, for what's happening in New York City. We left Iran. We left Islamic Republic for exactly this reason, because radical terrorist Muslims took over the country and are literally killing, raping, torturing, and executing innocent people right now as we speak for the past 47 years. And I thought by voting Democrat, liberals, every single year, every single time there was an election, that meant we are going to make America, keep America great. We're going to definitely not negotiate with terrorism. That's exactly what the left media made me believe. And I'm here to say, I apologize. I was brainwashed this whole time. It took me over 20 years to realize that Democrats and liberals are the reason this country is the way it is. They're the ones that are okay with the American flag being burned in New York City, that the American flag is okay to be burned. It's part of democracy. It's the most anti-American thing to do, and wishing death upon America is the most anti-American thing you can do. It has nothing to do with democracy. And I'm here to announce.
And I'm going to stop it right there, because we're teaching our kids in school it's okay to burn the American flag. Think about the Black community here, and I try to just call it like I see it. I have Black people tell me all the time. Some of them even called and said, "Is it anti-American not to fly the flag?" I'm like, "Yeah, you fly the flag, even if you don't like what your country's doing."
I have two at my house.
I've got the Betsy Ross in front of mine. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where I'm at.
So that video made me think about something in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Which is one of the places she named.
Yep.
They're starting to do, I don't know if they're state or city funded, but I know they're government funded, grocery stores.
City funded.
Where they're going to have dramatically lower prices.
Oh.
And they're going to subsidize the grocery stores so that they can have lower prices.
They're only subsidize the government grocery stores. So all of the businesses that sell groceries to make a profit, to pay the taxes, they're going to drive them out. It's going to create even a bigger food desert.
Right. But the thing that really got in my ear, they were interviewing some of the people in charge of this, and they said, well, how are you going to keep people from coming from outside the city to go in there and get these lower prices? And they're going to require ID to get bananas, but not to vote.
What kind of crap is that? And it's because, you know why? Islam is not compatible with American republic. It's not compatible. It just doesn't work. And that's why this lady, it took her 20 years, who came from Iran, who assimilated, who took the time to go through the wickets to get to vote, did everything legally. She now understands the real precious gift that's been given to us, which is a Judeo-Christian representative republic. And Benjamin Franklin said, we've given you a republic if you can keep it. And I'm not sure we can keep it. But listen to this, Brother Rick, and you're going to see why. Biblical worldviews, ladies and gentlemen. Biblical worldviews.
Apologize and let my husband know that he was right. He was rara.
She can't
say
let
my husband know that he was rara. I don't know why it's so hard to say this.
Right.
I am here to announce that my husband was rara.
She can't do it. She's like really struggling.
I'm here to announce that my husband was right. Oh, that took everything I had.
Women, wives, obey your husbands. Husbands, love your wives like Christ loved the church. They always cut that part off, but this is the biblical worldview.
But see, on that, I'm gonna push back a little bit. If you're telling the women to obey their husbands,
like
then the husband needs to be
a Christian, following, loving his wife like Christ,
and he needs to know what's going on.
And he needs to lay down his life for his wife. And
absolutely.
And we don't teach that anymore.
But be educated about more things than football.
Absolutely. And I've really done a really good job, dude. I was an Arsenal fanatic, dude. I would consume my life filled with Arsenal football and Chicago Bears football. And now I still follow Arsenal, but not nearly like I used to. Dude, my Bible time, my prayer time was zip zero nada. But I could tell you all the stats for Rex Grossman on our march to the Super Bowl, where we got screwed and terrible. Devin Hester running back the opening kickoff for a touchdown, watching himself run into the end zone on the Jumbotron. Wasted moment. But I digress. But
see, I was the same way with the Saints with Ole Miss.
Yeah.
But then now I'm more about how the helium output from the Strait of Hormuz is going to affect the MRI machines.
Mhm.
So if you don't have helium, you can't do a lot of medical procedures. And there's a lot of hospitals that are starting to run out. People don't talk about this.
No.
So be educated. If you want to be a husband worth being followed and listened to, then
Mhm.
you need to educate yourself and learn what's really going on in the world. So when your wife comes to you and asks for your opinion, make it worthy of her even asking the question.
And here's the thing, you know why women aren't following men right now? Because men are beta males. We're not leaders anymore like we used. Now that's not you, and that's not me. That's not Clay or Kim. Our circle of group. But women are out there doing all this stuff, and dude, I do watch Female Meltdown TikTok. It's great. Why they can't find a man? Well, no one wants to be with you when you've got a body count of over 150. It's just is what it is.
Well, it's not only that, they've been programmed for years, and we went right along with it to go to college, get a degree.
Yep.
You want to be a CEO, or you want to
A
put
boss.
you want to be a boss girl.
Yep.
And you want to put a career ahead of a family. Well, I'm sorry, by the time that you realize that you want to have children and you're 45 years old and barren, well, it's kind of hard to find a man that wants to be with that.
And here's the other part about that, Brother Rick, is that these poor girls have been programmed to think that it's wrong to be a traditional wife, a stay-at-home wife, when that's how God made women. They are the carers, they are the nurturers. They worry about things like that. Men are the hunter gatherers, protectors. It's just how God made us. And no matter how much you want to try, ladies, but once your eggs are gone,
They're gone.
They're gone. And it's not fair. I'm going to say this, Rick. It is not fair to women in general that once they hit about 2021, that's their peak age. That's when they've got it all going on. There's Superfly TNT hitting the club, looking hot, looking sharp, having their pick of the litter per se. But the value, this isn't Andrew's opinion. This is science. It's just how it works. It's harder and harder to find a mate the older a woman gets.
I agree with that, but I also don't. I'm not going to put this all on the ladies. Our
Oh,
society has been designed this way, where
our current society, not society in the beginning.
right, but currently where we're at
Yep.
now, it's the cool thing to have, 3 different boyfriends at the same time. And it's
Yep.
a cool thing to have the career. And it's a cool thing to, act the way we're acting.
I don't get it how I see these teen takeovers in these restaurants where they're jumping over the banister and getting into fights with the fast food clerks at the Waffle House and all this kind of craziness. I mean, that's crazy, man.
How are you going to correct that? How do you fix that?
Jesus. I mean, honestly, the only intervention like that, because we've proven as a society, as humans, we cannot govern ourselves.
I firmly believe in Jesus.
Yep.
All right.
That's the only.
But I'm just saying, if you're in the middle of one of those teen takeovers and you just start praying, you're going to get your butt kicked.
No, that's why you avoid those situations at all costs. Like,
no, I want those situations to avoid me. They shouldn't be accepted in society. You should, when those videos get posted, the law enforcement should be able to go out and investigate these and arrest them and charge the parents.
I'm not sure I understand how to hold. Well, I can see holding the parents accountable if it's after midnight and they're violating truancy laws and all that kind of stuff. Because while you and I don't have a curfew on us per se, teens do have curfews because of school, especially teenagers 15, 16, 17 should be getting ready for school the next day. And I would say that, but again, this is just me being practical. Me being involved in a teen takeover, or I know places where that's going to more likely happen than not, and I'm going to make sure that I don't frequent those businesses. Brother, I don't mean to be short, but you know what time it is?
I have no idea.
It's time for another commercial already.
Man, we just started talking.
I know, it's crazy. We got to take this commercial break. You are listening to Rick and Andrew on the Andrew Gosser Show. We'll be right back. We're in a commercial break right now, so we don't. It's quiet during the commercials. I apologize for that. And brother Dan, I believe I got your text message, and I'm gonna definitely read it when we come back from the break. Sorry about that. It's all good, brother. We just appreciate you tuning in. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell a Democrat. Help us out. Oh yeah, welcome back to the Andrew Gosser Show. I'm here with Brother Rick, and Dan Carr has texted me, and he's listening in today, and he sent something really thoughtful, Rick, and I want to get your comments on it. I'll try to read this as quick as I can. It's time to end the war with Iran and bring our focus back home. America is facing serious challenges here, and many Americans are concerned about the growing influence of extremist ideologies, quote unquote, Islam, in the security of our own borders. Washington cannot afford to ignore what is happening inside our own country. If we fail to put America first, we risk losing our nation as we know it and know and love. It's time to secure our borders, defend our values, and protect the future of the United States. Brother Rick.
How can I buy him a Coke?
We'll set that up. Dan, I know you're out there listening. I'd love to have you in the studio sometime. I know we talked about it way back, and then we kind of lost touch for a little bit, but love to have Dan Carr on because he's got a really great view on Mississippi and America, biblical worldview, and I'm sure that we can get him a Coke, man.
He said it better than I said it.
Yep.
Than I've said it. What I'm saying is we have enough problems here that we don't need to be over fixing somebody else's sandbox. Bring everybody home. Let's focus on us. Let's go back to February 27th, which will never happen because now they internationally have control of the straits and they can do whatever they want to. And that's as powerful as any nuke that exists. Just takes a little bit longer flash to bang. They do it and the bang comes later on.
We have to get back our independence. And in this global economy and global market where we're all interdependent upon each other, we've really made ourselves vulnerable.
We're electing people. No joke, y'all. Look it up. There's a guy running in Texas who has never had a bank account without minus the one he has with his mother.
What's that dude's name? Talrico. He's running against John Paxson, the Attorney General. And again, John Paxson was the one who beat John Cornyn, and John Cornyn's the one throwing a hissy fit about nominations for AG and DNI and whoever else, and him and Tom Tellis. And as we get closer and closer to the Save America Act, we will get there as soon as we get through these elections.
I don't even think we need it, to be honest with you, if we just enforce the laws that are on the books already.
Oh no, we need the Save America Act, in my opinion. It used to be common sense that if you weren't a citizen of the United States of America, you couldn't vote in our elections. Now you have states that are openly screwing over American. When California has voter fraud, I had this one person say, Andrew, what happened in California isn't affecting me. And
it is.
I was like, BS, dude. Your vote is being stolen from you. You don't see it because you're in Mississippi and it's not front and center on your TV screen. But when they steal elections for LA mayor and for governor, it's completely having an effect on us. And we need to go ahead and do that. We need to go ahead and make sure that we defend our vote. And that's why we need the Save America Act.
Well, can we throw in abolishing the 17th Amendment while we're at it?
Dude, that would be great. I mean, we almost need a convention of states to where we just go put in codification inside our Constitution via the amendment process to abolish the 17th Amendment, maybe even the 16th Amendment too, which is income tax, and go ahead and get our legislature under control and get our budget under control, because, dude, it is all out of control, man.
There are so many laws out there that are unconstitutional on their face. People just need to wake up and know history.
Dude, we do. And it's really, it's so disappointing to me personally when I sit there and have conversations with quote unquote conservatives or Republicans or even Democrats. They don't understand what the 17th Amendment does. They don't understand that our state legislators originally appointed our U.S. senators. And it wasn't for a 6-year term. It was for a 4-year term. I think that 6-year term is really evil.
But you got to tell people why that's important.
Well, yeah. Well, just like trying to explain the Electoral College vote or why the Electoral College vote is so important.
Well, then you wouldn't have states like California trying to affect Texas races.
Yep.
They wouldn't do it because it's one race. Whereas if we went abolished the 17th, it would be hundreds of races and they couldn't do it.
Yep. And people don't understand it. And we'll get into it. We got to take our top of the hour break. We'll be back in about 7.5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show. We'll be back in about 7.5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show.
This is Central Mississippi's stimulating
Dude,
talk.
that was solid.
1039 WYAB, Pocahontas,
so.
Jackson.
Absolutely nothing what we're talking about.
Good.
It's really good.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Results from yesterday's primary day in Michigan taking shape in the closely watched Senate Democratic race. ABC News projects progressive newcomer Dr. Abdul Al-Sayed will have a narrow victory against moderate Representative Haley Stevens. A short time ago, taking a victory.
I just can't say how grateful I am to have earned the votes that we took on a machine.
Seat vacated by Democratic Senator Gary Peters is a must-win for Democrats. ABC's Avery Harper says the winner takes on GOP Representative Mike Rogers in November's general election.
Haley Stevens had support of Gretchen Whitmer, of Democratic leadership in Washington, D.C. Are those folks going to embrace Al-Sayed? This is a seat that Democrats have to win in November if they want to take control of the Senate. They need to hold every single seat that they have and flip 4. This is a must-hold seat for them.
Tensions between the U.S. and Iran remain, but President Trump is insisting a deal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz could come as early as today. In Southern California, a potential security threat at Trump National Golf Course ahead of the president's visit. The man identified as 38-year-old Janine John Taylor was arrested. ABC's Kana Whitworth is on scene.
Authorities say they found hollow point bullets in his pockets and a loaded pistol in his vehicle parked at the course, along with a badge that read Fugitive Recovery Bail Enforcement Agent. In a search of the suspect's home, authorities say they found an illegally modified AR-style rifle, body armor, radio signal devices, and multiple notebooks containing what officials described as concerning statements.
In London, police arrested a woman in connection with a stabbing attack in Covent Garden today. Police say 4 men were stabbed and say a pair of scissors were taken from the scene. A spokesperson called it a mental health-related incident. In Washington state, fire crews getting a break from those whipping winds and raging wildfires. Many residents, though, returning to their neighborhoods outside Spokane are finding little left. You're listening to ABC.
That'll be 84.52.
Perfect. Grab the bags, honey. Mom, why do you always check your phone before we pay? I'm just claiming my cash back on the Upside app. Since we're getting the groceries here and we filled up the car on the way, I've already earned enough this morning to pay for that pizza night we're having Friday.
Wait, so the app pays for pizza?
Not exactly, but the cash I earn on stuff we need helps us pay for the stuff we want. It's just a little win for our family every week.
Get more out of your everyday. Upside is the free app that gets you cash back on routine purchases like gas, groceries, and dining out at more than 100,000 locations nationwide. No points, no rebates, just cash back straight to your wallet. Download the free Upside app and use promo code ACT5 to get a $5 bonus on your first purchase. That's promo code ACT5 to get a $5 bonus. Remember, use promo code ACT5.
Offers vary by user and location of participating merchants. Go to
News this hour is brought to you by the Rusty Healy Agency in Madison. Call Landon Thompson at 601-856-3681 to request a quote or learn more.
A woman found dead on the road of remembrance. Today, it is expected to feel like 100 with the actual high at 96, and it's sunny. Tonight, the low is 73, and it's mostly clear. The expected high for Thursday is 97 and sunny again. No rain for the next several days, and temperatures are expected to remain in the mid to upper 90s. You've got news on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis. A woman was found dead Monday evening in Jackson. Police say that woman's body was found hanging in a tree behind a house on the road of remembrance, which is near Capitol Street in West Jackson. For now, police do not know how the woman died, so it's being classified as a death investigation. Her name has not yet been made public. A man who owns a bounce house company in DeSoto County has been charged with molestation.
Was asked to play this, and I'm going to play it during the break. I played this on air once, but I think this is really relevant, so we're going to play this.
I wouldn't waste my time trying to get you to worship me. No, I'd just convince you not to worship God at all. I tell you truth is relative. Your truth, my truth, until nobody knows which way is up anymore. I'd lean in close and whisper, as long as you're happy, as long as it feels good, it's right. I'd keep you busy. Too busy for prayer. Too busy for church. Too busy to ask the questions that actually matter. I'd put a phone in your hands so you'd never have time to fold them in prayer. I'd break families. Get the fathers absent. Turn marriages bitter. Confuse the children. Because if I can fracture the home, I can fracture the future. I'd divide the church with petty arguments, comparison, offense, and celebrity culture. If I can get Christians fighting each other, they'll never fight me. I'd desensitize you slowly. Glamorize sin in movies. Normalize it in music. Laugh at it in comedy. Celebrate it in culture. Until what once shocked you now entertains you. I'd attack your identity. Make you question who you are, where you belong, and whether you matter at all. I'd whisper your sins so loud that you can't even hear God's voice of forgiveness and love. And through it all, my greatest trick is to convince you I'm not real. Because if you don't believe I'm real, you'll never resist.
And we are back here at the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYB. Look, we're streaming on social media. We're streaming on Rumble, X, YouTube. No one cares about Facebook, WYB.com. Our radio station is a 50,000 watt blowtorch of a signal that is 103.9 WYB. Like, share, and subscribe to the station, to the channels. Help us grow it. We'd really appreciate that. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell a Democrat. That'd be really great. And look, if you want to be part of the show, 601-879-0002. Text line is open, 601-879-5060. That's awesome. Look, the mission here at the Andrew Gossett Show is standard. We are here to equip the saints. I planted it, Apollos watered it, but it was God who gave the increase. And I stick by those biblical worldviews. And I'm really happy that this segment of the show is sponsored by Cowden Electric. Yes, Marty is awesome over there. Second generation electrician. He took the business over from his father, and Marty just does a great job. You can find him on cowdenelectric.com. And it doesn't matter whether it's a new project or you've got an existing electrical problem. You might need a new generator. Hurricane season's coming, ladies and gentlemen. And next month, Cowden Electric's going to be putting in our new batteries for our solar system. And I'm just, when you have somebody sponsoring WYAB who does really good work and have personal interaction with them, I can personally tell you Marty's the guy to do that. His phone number is 601-591-0339, 601-591-0339. And you can find him online at cowdenelectric.com, cowdenelectric.com. Brother Marty, thank you for sponsoring the show. We appreciate it.
I would like to talk to Marty personally about solar. I think that's something that everybody should be looking into.
I think it's good on the micro level, like for my farm. We're debating whether or not we're going to put in. We originally had 4 batteries, and unfortunately, the people we bought the solar, they did a great job installing it, but the batteries were crap.
And they have been up until recently, but the newer batteries that are coming out of China are really good batteries.
Well, I had 4 of them. We had 14.5 kilovolt system, and dude, it was great. We could do all that, but we have slots for, I think, 2 more batteries. So we're
y'all using lithium ion, or are you waiting, hold out for the sodium ion?
Well, I'd like to hold out for the sodium ion, but I don't think we can make it another year with what we got.
Yeah. Those sodium ions that are coming out supposedly do like 20,000 cycles, whereas the lithium ions now, the top line do like 8,000 cycles. So
8,000 days.
Well, yeah, 8,000 cycles. Yeah.
Yep. My goodness gracious. Well, and I'm sure Marty doesn't mind us talking about it because Cowden Electric can definitely service those needs. He really can. But it would be great to have him on to talk about that. I've been a big fan of the Tesla wall and solar. I think his first thing, Solar City, was what Elon started. And he put a bunch of solar panels on houses. But what he was really doing was building the solar panels for his Starlink system. And we can get into that too, because yesterday Starlink or SpaceX had its first corporate call after going public. And dude, I'm telling you what, the bashers out there, for any of us who traded stocks, day trading, we're not giving any financial advice. I want to make that very clear. No financial advice. But the bashers just trying to beat down SpaceX and Tesla, dude, they're out there. They know what's coming. And it's just incredible to me how they have profits of $7.3 billion and they had a loss of $531 million. But that was all research and development loss. Basically, Starlink is funding everything they're doing. And
I have Starlink personally. I love it.
Dude, I love it too, man. I couldn't have high-speed internet. This is, we were talking about, we have to get rid of these senators and congressmen who are mortgaging the future. We've got these fiber optic grants, $3 billion for Mississippi, whatever. You could buy a Starlink terminal for every person and just have them pay their monthly fee for their fiber, just like they do their phone. And it's like $70 a month.
Well, kind of staying on topic.
Yeah.
Do you know that Elon just bought a huge diesel generator
for
business?
Yep, for his data center up in Memphis area.
Yeah, that shows you how much the richest man in the world is concerned about the power grid.
Yep.
So that brings you right back to solar. And there's also a way, Marty would probably know better.
Yep.
He definitely would know better than me, but you can find old electric vehicles and just get their battery banks out of them for very, very cheap and integrate those into your power system. Yeah.
So I could rip, I've got an old Prius. I could rip out the battery out of that old Prius
and use it.
Oh, I got to tell Bernadette about that.
I think it's a 51 volt system and it uses the 48.
Yep.
But talk to Marty. I would love to pick his brain about stuff like that.
Dude, it's awesome. I'm sure that you can go on the Reddit files and YouTube and go look that stuff up too. Dude, I'm going to play this again because I really feel it's important to play this. I really do. And I did a segment on AI was the devil, and I put it into AI. If you were the devil, what would you do? And I want you all to listen to this. And then we're going to talk about it because it fits right into what we're talking about. How humanity is changing what we think is important.
I wouldn't waste my time trying to get you to worship me. No, I'd just convince you not to worship God at all. I tell you truth is relative. Your truth, my truth, until nobody knows which way is up anymore. I'd lean in close and whisper, as long as you're happy, as long as it feels good, it's right. I'd keep you busy. Too busy for prayer. Too busy for church. Too busy to ask the questions that actually matter. I'd put a phone in your hands so you'd never have time to fold them in prayer.
I'm going to stop it right there because that's the big thing. We've got all this information in our hands, but we're too busy worried about what's going on with Kim Kardashian and her booty job to sit there and look up, hey, can I take a Prius battery pack and integrate it into my solar system for my house in case the it hits the fan. Yeah. STHF, I think is what they say. But that's the kind of things that we're doing, and that's what AI is doing. I see it even in my Grok feeds and searches where I've got it really. My prompts are really directed and narrowed down specifically to cut through all the mickety muck that is AI, and it's taken away from our brain processing power.
Well, it's no different than giving somebody one of those little scooters that you ride around in the grocery store in, and they're not exercising their legs, walking in to get it. They're sitting on a scooter. AI can help you, but you've got to have enough knowledge that you ask. This is a very, very basic example, but you ask Grok, say, what are the colors in the United States flag? And it says red and white. You've got to have enough knowledge to say, hold on, there's blue in there too. And if you confront the AI with it, it'll say, you know what, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess what I'm getting at is you can't just ask the question and then just whatever you get is the truth. You've got to know a little bit about and push back. Even if you don't know, push back on the answers and try to confirm it, or use two different AIs.
You got to get different AIs out there. It's just scary. Claude scares the heck out of me.
Anthropic,
Anthropic is definitely evil. And I will say that when you program AI to give world views, just like ChatGPT. Remember when ChatGPT made George Washington black?
Oh yeah.
And look, I have nothing against not talking about the important contributions that Black Americans gave to this country. That's not what I'm saying. But you can't change historical figures either. And when AI went off the chain like that, it just let me know that we are not ready for that.
Fun little thing. Ask whatever AI you use a lot. Ask it, what do you know about me?
Oh, that's a great idea.
And it'll go back to every question you've ever asked, and it will build you a profile on yourself. And you might have to ask it a couple of times, a couple of different ways, but it'll tell you. Like with mine, it knows what state I'm in, but it don't know where I live because I don't ever ask questions that give it that information. I guess what I'm saying is use it, but just don't be crazy with it.
I agree.
Have a barrier.
Yep. Hey, you remember this guy?
Donald Trump has already done real damage to our democracy, but defying a unanimous 9-0 Supreme Court ruling, that has to be the final straw. It's time we impeach Donald J. Trump.
Yeah, you remember that guy? Sherry Thielander,
yeah,
Michigan 13, like 96% black district, and foreigner Indian put in by the DSA won that district. Well, he lost his primary to a Michigan guy, and he's more representative of that district, and good for him. He's out of there. But this is how bad it is. We're just chicken or beef, black or white, red or blue. Democrat Congressman Sherry Thielander flamed for railing against Trump, carried out unspeakable acts against 118 Beagles. You can sit there and you can be pro-abortion. You can sit there and be pro-pedo, but you hurt a dog or a cat or an animal, now you're screwed. Now you're going to get all this stuff. And this guy...
No, you're not. No, you're not. Fauci tortured all those Beagles. He took out their larynx.
Well, you see some of the flames that go on X or TikTok about these people who are hurting their animals. I mean, I can remember watching this happened in Iraq, dude, where they had a cat in a cage. They poured gasoline over it and lit it on fire, and that's what they did for entertainment. And this is the kind of crap that we're importing here to the United States, and you're not getting upset about it. But anyways, this guy ended up losing. But yeah, he was starving and not providing water to 118 beagles, and the people that he fired who were taking care of the beagles, they actually broke in to rescue the beagles. This happened in 2010. How is it? And this is coming from Matt Vanderswal and Libs of TikTok. So I'll go ahead and repost that because I want people to definitely understand. But this guy is leaving Congress. He tried to impeach Hegseth. He tried to impeach Donald Trump. He tried to impeach anything that would move. And definitely evil guy. And when we have that convention of states for new articles for or amendments to the Constitution, you've got to be second generation American to serve as a judge, serve as a congressman, serve as a senator. You've got to be fully assimilated. I'm sorry, but
why are you sorry? Don't be sorry. That's
no,
that's what we got to do.
You know, these people, these are the ducks that got in the pond, and as soon as
they muddied it all up,
you put a duckling in a fresh baby pool pond, and watch how quick that water goes from crystal clear to absolute hot garbage. Man, it's terrible. But that guy's out of there. People are asking for that Iranian woman that I did. I just reposted that as well. My X tweet is on fire at Andrew Gosser. That's coming from Defiant L's. So you can go ahead and follow them up. And you know what? We're going to take a break because when we get back, we got to talk about the Save America Act. I talk about it daily because I think it's important to me, Rick. I'm not sure where that racks and stacks on your things, but probably my biggest issue is the Save America Act, followed by the Epstein, followed by war. Because if we can't protect our kids, then we as a society can't do jack. I'll give you the last word before we go to break.
All three of those are tied in together. All three of those things revolve around protecting our kids. And I think, me and you want to go about it a different way, but I think we both want to address the situation.
Yep. He's Brother Rick. I'm Andrew Gosser. This is the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We'll be right back. Oh, yeah. Welcome back to the Andrew Gosser Show on 1039 WYAB. Brother Junk chiming in, wanting to know about the Straits of Barbara Mandrell. And, sailors, we could, us flight deck people, us roof rats, as they affectionately call us, we can never say it. But I've actually looked it up. And while I was geographically correct about everything, it's actually Babel Mandeb. Babal is the first word, Babel. Mandeb, Mandeb, strait. It is a narrow strait between Yemen, the Arabian Peninsula, and Djibouti, Eritrea, Horn of Africa. It connects the Red Sea to the Gulf of Aden and the Indian Ocean. It's about 20 to 25 miles wide at its narrowest point. It's one of the world's most important shipping checkpoints, roughly 10% of the global trade. I said 30, and I disagree with AI there, but whatever, including major routes from the Persian Gulf. It passes through the Suez Canal, which I said. The name comes from the strong currents in its historical dangerous navigation. And you have it, the other name for that. What's that name, Brother Rick?
It's the Strait of Tears.
Get a little closer.
This is the Strait of Tears.
It's the Strait of Tears, ladies and gentlemen. It's almost like there was some higher power designing the world geography and put these straits together, because you've got the Straits of Taiwan. There's another strait on India with that island right there that all of China's oil goes through. You've got the Straits of Hormuz, the Babel Mandeb Strait, and the Straits of Gibraltar.
There's like 4 or 5 major points.
5. Those are the 5.
Right. You shut them down, and 2 of them are effectively shut down. The Houthis, which are showing that they're pretty strong and have sophisticated weapons. You can debate where they get them from.
They get them from Iran. They got that Shahab 136, and it's a biggie.
Well, they just sunk a ship a couple days ago.
Yep,
a major one. But you shut those 2 ports down and
straits,
straits, and you've got problems.
You do, and again, it's like lead, follow, or get out of the way. Let us go in and do our job, or bring everybody home, and then when the world collapses, go in and say, "See, I told you so." But that's not necessarily what I think. But there's a growing number of people out there. We got to talk about the Save America Act, and I will continue to live on about this and talk about how this is going on. And this is coming from Keith Self. Breaking: 20 Senate patriots have stepped up to pledge work to continue through recess to pass the Save America Act. But these 5 that I'm going to mention right here, they haven't come out on public TV and necessarily said it, but they've posted on social media. It's actually 21 now. Mike Crapo, John Husted, James Langford, Ted Budd, and Josh Hawley, which is good because those are some more of the what we would call conservative bloc in the Senate, for whatever that means. But also John Kennedy from Louisiana also said,
I like him.
Yeah, he's a silver-tongued devil.
He is. But how long have we been talking about the Save America Act? It's been at least a year.
Yep.
And see, so I'm wondering, we can talk about it and talk about it and talk about it, but it's not getting done. So what can we do? I think we need to start some recalls on some of these senators.
It would sure be a lot easier. Senate Majority Leader John Thune walked off after telling MAGA to start attacking Democrats instead of Senate Republicans. This is only 14 seconds. Let's play John Thune here, and we'll talk about what we got to do.
What is the status on Clarity Act?
He literally just walks off. What a I'm going to say it. What a prick.
Yeah. Oh, he's better than you. You didn't know that?
He is the leader of the Senate. I know a thing or two about leadership, and you have to have the confidence of the people under you that you're leading. And he doesn't have it. If there are 15 Republicans who are not for the Save America Act, Rick, that's great. Just tell us who it is. Don't sit there and hide under this anonymity hot garbage. It's ridiculous. Brings me up to something else, notifications. I'd like to get your opinions on this, and I'm going to take a hot take here. This is coming from, let's see, where is it? Oh, man, I just had it ready to go.
You better hurry up.
Political Now. So this is coming from Senator Collins, where she came out 15 hours ago and talked about how she's not voting for We got 6 minutes. I
Oh,
think.
okay.
Yeah.
I thought it went straight at
You know,
30.
if for someday I take over the 11 to 2 p.m. slot or the noon to 3 El Rushbo, it was top of the hour, bottom of the hour. I got those breaks down, but we're a little bit different format here. Always shout out Rush.
That's why I was trying to get you to hurry up, because I thought you were running out.
But Senator Susan Collins came out and said she was not voting for President Trump's pick for AG. And I hearted it and reposted it and said,
how can she say that when she don't even know who it is?
Oh, no, it already passed the judiciary.
I understand, but what I'm saying is, anytime somebody says, I'm not voting for whoever they pick, and they don't even know who the pick is, like that, it doesn't make sense to me. Like you don't even know, they could be the best person in the world. They could be bad. They could be whatever, but you're.
She wrote a block, a whole bunch of scrolling stuff here. And she said, and she went through all of his positive things and the things that she didn't agree with. His 1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund, which I'm quite frankly for. When the government comes after you and destroys you, there's J6 veterans out there who did nothing wrong, and the government came and prosecuted them, took their business, took away their livelihood, destroyed their families.
So, can I talk on that for just a second?
Yep.
It got approved. There was, I forget how many billions of dollars it was.
1.8.
It got approved, and it was the Republicans who voted it down, that they were going to like reimburse the J6 people that were wrongfully prosecuted, and the Republicans voted it down and said we shouldn't be spending that money, but yet we can spend billions over here. Yeah,
trillions. So anyway, she comes out and says, I will vote against this nomination. And I hearted it and retweeted it, to which I want to give the person, Kevin Heck on X, said, how could anyone be this disconnected from reality? America deserves better than Susan Collins. Yes, they do. But she's in Maine. And like I was telling you off air, I'll tell people on the air, she has never been ahead in a poll in her life when she's running for office, yet she's been there from 2004. And she caucuses with the Republicans. She gives the Republicans the majority. Now, you might say, well, a lot of good that's doing us. And we can get back to John Thune and his terrible leadership on this. But we are in Mississippi. We got to look at ourselves before we start worrying about what's going on in Maine or South Dakota. And we had a primary, and Cindy Hyde-Smith won the primary. Now, you can say that she didn't have a meaningful challenger. Dan Carr would disagree with you. They found a candidate. And whether you agreed with that candidate or not, that candidate did not persuade the Mississippi public, the conservative Republican voters, to vote for her. And it's the truth. And I'm not saying any slander against her or anything, but it's a reason, dude. I've been asked to run for office 3 or 4 times, and it's very humbling. But dude, I'm a northwest side of Chicago boy. You really think the people of Mississippi are going to trust a carpetbagger moving down from Chicago, farmer? I might say all the right things, but will I really build that trust? We got to grow our talent from the bench. I mean, if you really want to challenge Roger Wicker or Cindy Hyde-Smith, you're going to need somebody who has established roots in Mississippi. It's just my opinion. You might not agree with it, but that's okay. But we're not going to get better than Susan Collins in Maine. And I don't know if you saw the person they chose to replace the Nazi fascist. He's married to he's living with his first cousin, and they have kids together.
It's only a matter of time. This whole thing's going to burn down.
Dude, dueling banjos. And they'd say that Mississippi's backwards. Guys, you might get good lobster in Maine, but you got a lot of craziness going on up there. Liberalism is bad, okay?
Well, it's kind of like what General Michael Flynn said. You got to look at the national, realize what's going on, and then act locally.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to take. I can't sit here and say that we're bad for going over there in Iran, because that's such a big issue. I need to look at what's going on in my county.
Yep.
Fix my house, and then once my house is fixed, we'll go next door. And you got to think locally like that.
Yep.
County to county, then get your state, and then get your region, and then you take your country back.
Yep. And here's the thing. I know that there are a lot of people listening to my voice who give money to Mississippi GOP, and I support that. There are a lot of people who give money to individual political candidates, and I support that. But do you know what I don't support giving money to? And this is going to get me a lot of trouble. Clip it. If you're giving money to the House Leadership Fund or the Senate Leadership Fund, Republican leadership funds, that is a waste. I'd rather give it to the individual candidates, like whoever's running against John Thune. They're getting $1,000 from Andrew and Sweetbee, and they're going to get multiple checks because that's how you fight this. You don't sit there and get on X and Facebook and TikTok and whine. Oh, I almost said a bad word. You see, look, let's take a break real quick. We'll reset. We'll go going. But that's just what I'm going to do. You don't have to do what I do. This is America. We all have freedom of speech and freedom of choice to go
About
do
some things.
Yeah, you got a point there. That's Brother Rick. I'm Andrew Gosser. This is WYAB. We'll be right back. And we are back here on the Andrew Gosser Show with Brother Rick and Andrew Gosser. And coming in here, I can't read the name here, but talking about the new Democratic Socialists of America candidate for Senate in Maine, who has a public accommodation with his cousin and has kids. He goes, he didn't even make an honest woman out of his cousin. And I mean, it's sad that we got to talk about that. And Andrew, you're being childish, not being godly.
I mean, that's the thing on their side. Ilhan Omar,
Yep.
she married her brother.
You can't make this stuff up, and you can't sit there. When we talk about freedom of speech in America, it's not that you have freedom of speech; it's self-censorship. It's not that people are self-censoring their thoughts about things because they don't want to be called a racist,
I can
or they
agree
don't
with
want to
that.
be, or they don't want to be called whatever, a hypocrite, or whatever it is that the left wants to label you today. Brother, you send me all sorts of stuff.
More than you can possibly watch.
It's incredible, dude. I don't know how you do it all, but you sent me this, and I thought this was really good, so I want to play this.
The truest words was from Nietzsche when he said that any man who knows too much can't fit in anywhere, and that's a curse of awareness.
Smoking a cigarette.
Once you start to delve underneath the surface, that's when you realize this whole world, it's not so simple. And you start to notice who people really are and the games they're playing. And that fake confidence, all the ulterior motives. And you realize this whole society, it's built on lies. And people, they're sheep. And once you see that, you can't unsee that. So you try and tell people, but they say to you, no, you're overreacting, you are crazy. So you stop talking, but you're still observing, you're still watching, but you know you don't belong anymore. And it's not because you think you're too good for anyone. No, it's because you've seen too much and you're watching everything, and now you know you can't go back to how it was anymore.
It's just like the movie They Live.
Yep.
Once you put the glasses on, there's no turning around.
Nope. And you know what? Think about COVID-19, ladies and gentlemen, how they thought you were stupid. I went back to look at some of the stuff that they wrote about me in my local paper back then because I called it the Chinese virus.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. They were going after me. They were going after my son. And it was terrible. They thought we were the crazy ones. And now look at it.
Yeah, I got banned on Facebook and I've never been so more proud.
Yep. I still, dude, you try to pull up Facebook on my phone right now. I can't get into it.
I don't want into it.
Dude, I think Facebook and social media, TikTok and all that. I don't have Instagram, don't have Facebook. I do have X. I do have TikTok, but I only open it when someone sends me a TikTok to watch. But I don't spend time doing it. I used to create a little bit on there, and I had built up a little bit of a following, but I just didn't really want to spend my time. Oh, I got to make a TikTok to reach my viewers today it's just not worth it.
So many people get dopamine highs from, I got 15 likes on Facebook. I don't care.
Yep.
If my tire's flat and I'm on the side of the road, not one of those people are going to come over there and help me change it.
But they're your Facebook friend. Oh, we're friends.
And then they also have studies out where you get depressed because you're looking on here and nobody posts the bad things on Facebook. Everything's on there. I'm on vacation. I'm making millions. I'm doing this. It's all the other things. And you try to compare your life to all the highlights of everybody else across social media and you don't add up. And all of a sudden now you feel depressed.
Yeah.
Forget it. Just get rid of it and live your life. Enjoy your thing.
Do you remember when they were talking about banning Instagram and Facebook for the filters that girls use on their pictures? Because the girls would post their pictures and they would get either no interaction or nasty comments.
And it was messing with them mentally.
Yeah. And that's why women are changing the way they dress, the way they act, the way they look. And, I don't know about you, but when I see a girl with short shorts on with hiked up her fanny and all that stuff, I do that. Like that's a walking disease trap right there.
Don't be that girl.
Don't be that girl. And don't be that guy who shacks up with that girl. Cause you ain't going to be you're not going to be number 10, 11 or 12. You're going to be 130, 140, 150 in that train. Nasty. And I know we're kind of all over the place, but the other thing I really liked about this is it talked about, are you going to be one who's awake or are you going to be one of the sheep? And it talked about humans being a bunch of sheep. And you know where that comes from? Biblical worldview.
Are you talking about the shepherd and the sheep? And
Yep.
how he, I agree with you on that, but also once you wake up, you start looking into things like rabbits, and you
Oh,
start
yeah.
looking into things like water collection, and then you realize, oh wait, in a lot of the country, it's illegal to collect rainwater, and then you go, why is it illegal to catch rainwater? And their little spill is going to be because rainwater is for everybody, and it affects this. Well, no, it doesn't. I'm not going to collect enough coming off my rooftop to affect anything. So why is this against the law? And then you start looking through, like, go back to the rabbits. Why is it against the bylaws for me to have rabbits in my backyard? They don't make sound, they don't smell, they give me natural fertilizer, and they produce meat. And it's relatively cheap. You can do a rabbit tractor in your backyard and they can just eat all your grass. Why are these laws here? Why are there so many restrictions that force me to be compliant whenever I can easily and cheaply be self-sufficient?
You know, there's these HOA Karens, these HOA presidents who you can see videos on it. Just go look it up on YouTube or TikTok or your favorite social media platform of choice. These HOA Karens who are acting like they're all bad and bold. Well, I'm the president of the HOA. I'm going to fine you. I'm going to tell you to go to hell.
Yep.
And,
Did you see where they were flying drones in people's backyards to see what they were growing?
Yep. That's freaking dude.
That's a quick way to lose a drone.
You know what? We are again, it comes back to society and a civil society, a high trust society. We don't have that anymore. We had a high trust society till I would say probably 1945, 50. But then after that, we still had a high trust society, but it was a pseudo high trust society. You had government snooping and pooping, but your neighbors were still a high trust society. But about 1990, everything just went tango uniform. And then 2001, when The Matrix came out, that was the end of that.
See, whenever I was in high school, we still had shotguns and rifles in our trucks. We would leave school and go hunting.
I wish we could get back to that, but could you imagine? And it could happen in rural Mississippi, but could you imagine somebody going to some Jackson or Rankin County, Hines County high school with a gun rack in their back? They'd have the police there. They'd have everything there. What's wrong with little Johnny? Well, I'm going hunting afterwards. You can't do that. And we're just a lost society, man. We've lost the values that made us great and wonderful. We've lost God, and that's why I see this downward spiraling like you see it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
You cannot unsee it.
But that's why I'm like,
but there's solutions, and that's what I want everybody to know.
There are solutions, brother, but don't you think that people don't have enough common sense to
No, I don't. I have zero faith in humanity.
I have 0.0001 faith in humanity. There's people like you out there. There's people like me out there. Clay Edwards, Kim Wade. I know I'm missing Lindsay and Sean and Chip. Those with common sense, and there's even liberals out there that at least they can think for themselves, and we just don't have that anymore.
I don't mind liberals. I just want them to argue with me without using talking points. Like, let's just have a conversation and talk about a issue. I might learn something from you.
Yep.
But I don't want. If I was going to argue with CNN, I would just turn CNN on.
Yep.
I need you to explain to me, like Clay says. Talk to me slowly so I can understand.
Yep.
Why you're coming from your view, and we'll talk about it. But nobody talks anymore. Everybody screams.
Yep. I was watching an awesome debate between Dinesh D'Souza and one of these pink-haired commie pinkos from a education facility. I'm going to call it. It's not even a university or a college. It's an education facility, mind programming. And this lady was sure calling the Republicans fascists and socialists and Nazis. And Dinesh D'Souza completely said, no, I'm not going to back down. I'm going to answer your question logically. I listen to you. Now you're going to listen to me. And he rolled out the whole history of the Nazi party and how they're communists, how they're left leaning, everything that she was saying, the Nazis actually did. It's like, why do we have a Woodrow Wilson Boulevard or Avenue in Jackson, Mississippi? Do people know what Woodrow Wilson did? All my liberal and black friends who listen to this show, and I say friends kind of loosely because you might agree with me, you not agree with me, but go look up the movie that Woodrow Wilson showed in the White House. And I'm going to do a big expose on this. I already got my facts down. But all you crazy liberals out there, I love you, but go look up the movies that Woodrow Wilson showed in the White House and get back to me on that. You're going to see that they're right up there with the Southern Poverty Law Center, ladies and gentlemen. Grand Cyclops, Exalted Wizard, whatever the hell. Oh, gets me all fired up.
He was definitely a friend to the liberals.
He was a friend of the liberals, and he was a bona fide racist.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know who Brandon Straka is?
Yeah, I do.
Did you watch any of the debates that he's done recently?
I haven't watched him recently, but he did the walkaway.
He did the walkaway thing. Well, he also has done debates between Gen X and millennials, and I think he did one with Gen X and boomers.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives you a lot of perspective of they're all Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
Air quotes.
Yep. Gotta be
Y'all should
careful with
watch that because it shows you where the divide is that we have, and we're going to have to overcome that divide if we're going to ever keep power.
Yep.
And it also shows you where our weak spots are. It's very entertaining. I think they're all like 45 minutes, and there's 2 or 3 of them. They're very good.
I want you to think about this as we go to the commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. I'm giving you a commercial break assignment. If you had a modem speed for the human brain, what would that speed be? You are listening to Brother Rick and Andrew Gosser on the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We'll be right back. And we are back here on the Andrew Gasser Show, dude. It's
flown by, dude.
And it wasn't like we were stalling or doing any filler. We were hitting it.
There's a lot to talk about. I mean, you can be on whatever team you want to be on. We're so divided up right now.
Yep. I asked the question at the break. I said, if your human brain was a baud modem, and for those kids who don't know what a baud is, back in the good old days, we had internet connection, but it was like 300 baud, 1200 baud. So that's 300 bytes per second, basically. What's the human brain? What if I told you it was 1 to 2 baud? The oldest computers are faster than the human brain can actually, with its input-output device.
I think a better way of describing it is using light bulbs.
Yep.
It's like a 5 watt.
It's not an LED like the old filament 1 watt, just a barely dim thing. And then the internet today is like the sun. I mean, and it's just getting heated up. It's going to even get brighter and stronger and more incredible. People are already starting to text me, Andrew, what are you saying about Woodrow Wilson? I'm telling you to go
look it up.
Go look it up. And we'll talk about it tomorrow. I'm not going to sit here and do your homework for you, but you go look up in all places. In Jackson, Mississippi, we've got a road named Woodrow Wilson Boulevard, ladies and gentlemen. And I've been wanting to talk about that for a while.
It's pretty bumpy, by the way.
Oh, dude, dude, I'm telling you this, Afghanistan Highway 1 is smoother than that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, some of the roads in Iran are smoother than that.
Well, just to give him a little hint, his legacy is about as smooth as the road named after him.
Yep. But we don't talk about that, but we'll sit there and we'll talk about all the problems that are going on today, but we don't realize that where this infestation started. And remember how they used to teach us critical thinking? They don't teach that anymore.
What is that? I don't know.
Yeah, critical thinking. Yeah. You can't think for yourself.
Think about this, though. This is the last thing I got for you. It doesn't matter which way this goes, whether diesel goes to $10 a gallon or the war ends and it's $2 a gallon. Doesn't matter. Just become ungovernable. Make it where it doesn't matter what happens.
Yep. Because what they need is people to be dependent on the government and dependent on sheep, like sheep. And, you know, me being a sheep farmer, and I'm fully retired now, by the way. I don't even, I'll drive them down to go meet the maker and go get processed. But me going out there and like.
Would have been cold storage.
Yeah. Freezer camp. But I'm telling you this, you got to spend your time, instead of reading those crazy TikToks on Nolan Wells that are proving to be false and getting yourself into trouble with the law, go find out what Woodrow Wilson did to this country. Go look at what some of these people who your idols are and find the faults under them. And look, we can talk about the faults on the right as well.
Find you a local farmer.
Oh, dude, go spend a day at a local grass-fed farmer type of person. They would, number one, love it, and you would be so educated, and you might even get your kids involved in it. And here's the thing, Toots McCracken, she's 17 now, and she was all about the farming till about last year when she discovered boys.
Oh, yeah.
And so now the farming thing isn't so hot. She'll do it when mom goes out of town or whatever, but she wants nothing to do with it. But she's got that in her brain.
But she's carrying that skill with her
for the rest of her life. And she doesn't realize that yet. And a lot of these Gen Z alphas don't realize that the things that Gen X is trying to pass down to them,
you're going to want to know eventually.
It's going to pay dividends in the end, ladies and gentlemen. Brother Rick, we're going to have to figure out how to get you on more often, man. Show really flows. And I really appreciate you coming in today, man.
Thanks for letting me come in.
Yep. That's Brother Rick. I am Andrew Gosser. This is 103.9 WYAB. The Lindsey Beckham Show is coming on next, ladies and gentlemen. Until then, take care. Be blessed. Yes and amen, ladies and gentlemen. Yes and amen.